We're going to go over money a little bit. I know that a lot of people are still struggling, and this is probably one of the biggest hurdles most people are dealing with at this very moment in time. As inflation has hit and things are cost more than they used to, right? And most people's hourly wage or however you get paid, profit, whatever that looks like, hasn't gone up at the same rate. And in the beginning, I would say a mantra, and it was, large sums of money flow to me quickly and easily through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Right? And over time of saying that, it started to attract money into my life. But the problem that I found is it wouldn't stick around. Right? Something would happen, a car would break down, something in the house, something would happen where I would have to spend that money. And as I kept studying and understanding, you have to be direct with what you want and how you say it. And so I changed my mantra to large sums of money flow to me quickly and easily through multiple sources on a continuous basis in the best interest of all that I use wisely and get to keep, save, spend, donate. And after an extended period of time, money would show up that I wouldn't have to spend. I was able to save it or invest it or donate it. Right, when I say, what are you expecting? I know for me in the beginning, I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to do what the books were telling me or a video I was watching was explaining, was changing from positive to negative. Right, a thought comes in, there's two things we can do. We can make it positive or we can make it negative. Right, and so I would spend some of my day making positive things, but then I would wander through the rest of my day in the program in a negative state. Right, when you have extreme low self-esteem and extreme guilt, and you haven't overcome any of those hurdles, it's very hard to stay in a positive state. Right, your mind's constantly wandering back to the program, which for me was negative. And if you're only, in the beginning, you're given 10 or 15 minutes to a positive affirmation, and then the rest of the day you're wandering through in a negative vibration with negative thoughts. All those negative thoughts you are expecting. Right, in the beginning, I thought the law of attraction was only for positive things. Right, because I learned about the law of attraction and then I started applying it with positive things. But I didn't understand I'm using the law of attraction 24/7, 365. Every thought and every word and every feeling is the law of attraction. And you're going to get what you're expecting. If I'm worried about money, I'm expecting lack. I need you to understand that. If I'm worried about a relationship I'm in, that it's not going to work out, I'm expecting a bad outcome. In 15 minutes a day of conscious effort, expecting it to work out, gets trumped by 7 or 8 or 9 or however many hours the rest of the day you're worried about it not working out. And it's unconscious. You're not even aware you're having the thought, but it's going through you constantly. Right? 95% of our thoughts are invisible. We can't see them. There's only 5% of the day that's you actually remember the thoughts that you're having. And I'm not saying this to upset you. I'm saying this so you can start to grasp an understanding. right? When I ask you to write down what are you expecting, it can't be the 15-minute of positive. That's not enough. What you're really expecting is all the things you're unconscious of. What are those? Right? I've asked you to get a tape recorder or get a journal and write it down. Every time your mind wanders off and you become aware that it wandered off, write it down. What were you thinking about? What were you worried about? What were you contemplating? What outcome were you expecting? This is the beginning. This is the hard part. Right? And I've done a lot of videos on money, and I'm going to do another one. I'm just going to keep going over this stuff so you guys understand it. There's 3 habits to money. First habit, the worst habit, is you spend more than you make. Right? You earn $50,000 a year and you spend $60,000 a year, right? You spent more than you earned. The second habit is you spend all that you earn. You make $50,000 a year, you spend $50,000 a year. The third habit is you spend less than you earn. You make $50,000 a year, you spend $40,000 a year, you have a surplus. You can never get to that without being conscious. Unless it's an unconscious habit for you to be like that. If you had the proper programming growing up and a parent who was diligent in that, in teaching you that, and operated like that, then you will be like that. Most of us didn't have that. Most people are in lack and limitation and struggle. So I'm pretty certain majority of you watching this are in one of the first 2 habits. And if you want to change that, it would be really easy if I knew exactly what you were trying to do. But I don't. So I'm just going to talk about some things that I think would benefit you if you're in one of those 2 habits. Number 1, if you spend more than you earn, I would write down everything that you earn, and then I would write down all of your expenses. And at some point within that month, your earning runs out and your spending keeps going. You need to draw a line. And you need to call the people that are below the line and inform them that you're not going to be able to pay them for the next few months while you change this habit. Now this right here is where most people won't make a committed decision and take the action step. They're afraid to call the creditor and make them aware, I can't pay you for a few months. Right? They won't make a committed decision and follow through. So they never start to change the habit. I mean, it is that simple. You have to walk through the terror barrier. You have to change your habit. Right? You have to become aware that you have that habit, and then you have to work on changing it. Right now, obviously, you're going to do your expenses as needs. Right? Your wants should be way down low. The things you need to survive need to be at the top. They need to be getting paid. Housing, food, electricity, transportation, clothing, right? Those kind of things you need to survive. I understand that. But there's a whole bunch of things that you might be putting on credit cards every month that you don't need them. You can go 6 months without doing any of that and change your whole paradigm. Right now, if you're in habit, the second worst habit, where you spend everything you earn, it's a little easier. Right? You're not in a huge deficit. You're going to do the same process, but you're going to find one or two things that are low on the, that are down in your wants, or things that you spend money on, right, that you could stop spending money on. Going out to eat all the time, or Netflix, or these little things that add up. Right? And you need to cancel those things, and you need to change habits. You can't go out and eat every night if you don't have the money to do that. Right? And your goal is to get to where you spend less than you earn. Your whole life changes. Fear and worry, gone. Anxiety, it's not around. You start to feel self-worth. Now you start donating some of that extra money that you've earned, and you really compound how you feel. And you keep giving, and you keep giving, and you keep giving any extra that you have without any expectation. And it will come back multiplied. Right? That's when these large sums of money will start showing up to you. Right? And almost all of you, I promise, could get to that within 6 months. If you want to make a committed decision and reach out to me, and we can craft a plan for you. And I will be your accountability partner. Right? You know, heaven's first law is order. If you can't be orderly with your money, you're not going to attract money. Right? You're not using it right. It's not a bad thing. You just need to become aware. Okay, I need to change that. Right? Money is amoral. It's not good or bad. It's what we do with it that makes it good or bad. If we're using it for negative things, it's bad. If we're using it for positive things, it's good. Right? And as you're doing this, you need to change the way you think and feel about money. Most of us took one little piece of scripture, that money's the root of all evil, and somebody programmed it into us, and we unconsciously believe that. We've never challenged that belief. Money is the root of all evil if you're using it for evil things. Money can also be the root of all amazingness if you're using it amazingly. Right? So I need you guys to really watch this video over and over and over and over again, and really pay attention to what I'm saying so that you understand. Right? You know, call it tithing, donating, whatever you want to call it. 10% of our money. Right? And people say all the time to me, I can't do that. And I say, okay, can you take a penny from every dollar that you earn and give it away? Right? If you can't do 10 cents every dollar, can you do one penny of every dollar that you earn? Right? You have to chunk these things down. Right? If I was to say I want to earn $10 million this year, my body would start vibrating very uncomfortably, because that's a huge number. But if I could chunk that down to a very small, how much would that be a day? And then look at that number and focus on that, right? I'm not paying attention to the 10 million for the year. I would be paying attention to whatever that number was that I had to earn every day. Right? Or I want to make an extra $100,000 this year. Right? What would that look like? Well, if you're still vibrating kind of funky, break it down to a month. And if it still feels icky, break it down to a week. If it still feels icky, then break it down to a day. How much money would I have to earn extra a day to make an extra $100,000 this year? Right? And that's living in the present. You have to chunk these things down. Same thing applies when you're trying to get out of debt. You can't look at this massive number of student debt or whatever it is, credit card debt, right? You look at, okay, how much money a day would I have to spend every day on this debt to eliminate it in a year? And focus on that number, right? Don't look at it every month I'd have to pay X amount. Look at every day. I would need to find a side hustle or something and earn an extra X amount per day to pay this thing off in a year. Right? And you need to be challenging these beliefs. Why am I in debt? Who taught me debt was good? Do I give conscious awareness to positive about money? Why do I feel negatively about money? Why does money feel icky? Why do I not believe I don't deserve money? Does the God that I'm trying to understand want me to live in a shack and be in poverty and wear rags for clothes and drive a car that breaks down all the time? Does that sound like a loving father? I would never be okay with my kids living like that, ever. And I'm nowhere near as unconditional as God. If I wouldn't let my kids live like that, there's no way God's going to let you live like that unless you have thoughts and are attracting that into your life through repetition. Right? Reach out. We'll craft a plan. We'll get you on the right track. Your whole life will change. You will start attracting money. You will feel so much better. You will be able to donate to people and help family members or help someone you don't know or give to a charity that you think is amazing and you feel wonderful doing that. That's how we're supposed to be operating. There's 6 billion people plus on this planet. Can you imagine if everyone was donating $100 a month to one thing? Or to 10 things or however many? That's an astronomical amount of money. And it can be done. Right? But 97% of the population is living in lack and limitation through programming, through the TV, through media, through old sayings, through Darwinism, right? You have to start debunking these things and get out of the program. Change your paradigm. Then you can start helping other people change. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm obsessed with helping. I mean, it's really simple when you have a little bit of an understanding of how to change. And then you have to make a committed decision that you're going to change. And then all you have to do is turn the camera on video and talk about how you changed. And then send it to YouTube. And you can help someone else change. We all should be doing that. That should be something that you are doing every week. You've been through something that could help so many people that haven't been through it yet or are heading into it. Right? And if most people are struggling with money and you can figure out how to not struggle anymore, and simplify the process and explaining it, you should be doing that. Right? Your goal should be health, wealth, love, and happiness. You should be able to travel and see beautiful things and eat the most amazing healthy food and wear clothes that make you feel good and drive a car that you're proud of and live in a home that you think is wonderful. Right? 3 habits. It's very simple. It's actually, it's too simple, so people don't believe it. People don't understand that if you put attention on 20 or 40 or 60 or 80 or $100 a week, how your life can change very shortly. Just by being smart with a little bit of money. Then you start that habit. Pretty soon you're smart with all of your money and you're making good decisions. And you become orderly in your finances. And more starts to be attracted to you because you're good with your money. And you're doing good with your money. Please, guys, I'm begging you. Don't keep kicking the can down the road. Quit procrastinating. Make a committed decision. Become sick and tired of being sick and tired. Put your foot down. You can do this. And I'm here to help. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was beneficial in some way and made you aware of something that, you know, you weren't aware of. Super simple. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Keep smiling. Please like and subscribe. Hit your notifications when new videos come out. You'll be aware that they're there so you can watch them. Right? And if you don't want to leave or ask a question, you can DM us, right? We can jump on a phone call. There's a lot of things we can do. We can become creative. We need to build a community that is just helping each other. That's our sole focus. Right? And as everyone starts to change and more people come, everyone can be helping. Right? That's what I want. Right? I want your testimonial. Hey, I did this. I listened to this guy. I got his journal. I did this. My life changed. Right? It's one thing me saying that. It's another thing if you say that and then someone else sees that it helped you. Right? That's the kind of case studies that change people's lives. Not just someone online saying something. Right? It's when someone who is watching someone online says, hey, I did this and it worked. Then you might change 2 or 3 people's lives. Right? And if you start compounding that over time, right, hundreds of thousands of people's lives that start to change. And the consciousness of the universe changes. And we can start changing this lack and limitation. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.